Murder is horrifying no matter who commits it, but when a child becomes the killer, it's something that shakes the very foundation of society. How can someone so young, so seemingly innocent, commit such unthinkable crimes? Today, we dive into the terrifying true stories of 5 children who became murderers, leaving the world in shock and fear. 1. Mary Bell, the deadly child of England. In 1968, the town of Newcastle, England, was gripped by fear when 2 young boys were found murdered. The shocking part? The killer was an 11-year-old girl named Mary Bell. Mary strangled 4-year-old Martin Brown and then, along with a friend, killed 3-year-old Brian Howe. What made the case even more disturbing was that Mary carved an M into Brian's stomach and later returned to the crime scene, enjoying the chaos she had caused. When she was finally caught, she showed no remorse. Her chilling words? "I like hurting things because it feels good." After spending years in prison, Mary was released and given a new identity. To this day, people still debate, was she born evil, or did her abusive childhood turn her into a monster? 2. John Venables and Robert Thompson, the baby killers. One of the most shocking crimes in UK history happened in 1993 when 2 10-year-old boys, John Venables and Robert Thompson, kidnapped 2-year-old James Bulger from a shopping mall. Security cameras captured them leading the innocent toddler away. What happened next was beyond comprehension. They tortured the little boy for hours, throwing bricks at him, hitting him with an iron bar, and even attempting to cut him. They finally left him on train tracks, where his body was later found. The boys were arrested, but the world was horrified that children could be capable of such cruelty. After serving their sentences, both were released with new identities. But John Venables has been in and out of prison, proving that some people never change. 3. Jesse Pomeroy, the boy torturer. In 1871, in Boston, Massachusetts, a 12-year-old boy named Jesse Pomeroy began terrorizing younger children. He would lure them into secluded areas, then whip, stab, and cut them with knives. The police caught him and sent him to a reform school, but that did not stop him. 2 years later, Jesse was released early for good behavior. Within months, he committed 2 brutal murders, a 4-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. His method? Slashing them beyond recognition. When arrested, Jesse showed no regret. His reason for killing? "I just had the urge." At 14 years old, he became the youngest person in Massachusetts history to be sentenced to life in solitary confinement. 4. Eric Smith, the red-haired killer. In 1993, in New York, a 13-year-old boy named Eric Smith lured a 4-year-old named Derek Roby into the woods. What happened next was pure horror. Eric beat the little boy to death with a rock, then did something even more sinister. He posed the body in a disturbing way, showing he took pleasure in his crime. The police were baffled at first, but when Eric's own parents noticed his strange behavior, he was caught. During the trial, Eric showed little emotion, and when asked why he did it, he simply said, "I wanted to see what it felt like to kill someone." He spent decades in prison, only being released in 2022. But even now, many wonder, is he still dangerous? 5. Lionel Tate, the wrestling tragedy or a cold-blooded killer. In 1999, in Florida, a 12-year-old boy named Lionel Tate was left alone with a 6-year-old girl, Tiffany Yunick. What happened next remains one of the most controversial child crime cases in history. Lionel brutally beat Tiffany to death, causing injuries similar to those from a severe car accident. His defense? He claimed he was practicing wrestling moves on her and didn't mean to kill her. But medical experts said the injuries were too severe to be accidental. Despite being sentenced to life in prison, Lionel's case raised an ethical debate. Was he truly a killer or just an irresponsible child who didn't know his own strength? His sentence was later reduced, but Lionel continued to get into trouble with the law, proving that perhaps his violent tendencies were not a one-time mistake. The aftermath. Where are they now? Some of these child murderers were released, given new identities, and even tried to reintegrate into society. But could they truly escape their past? Or was the darkness within them simply waiting for another chance to strike? Mary Bell, a new identity but old demons? After serving 12 years in prison, Mary Bell was released in 1980 under a new identity. For years, she lived in secrecy, even having a daughter who had no idea about her mother's past. But in 1998, the media tracked her down, exposing her to the world. Even more shocking, she sold her life story for money. People were outraged. Should a murderer profit from her crimes? Some believe she is truly reformed, but others whisper that a killer never really changes. G.